y'all. Yeah, there's always a purpose to everything. And God, I think he's leading me to read out of Jonah. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And we're going to go from there and, you know, see what words of wisdom that God's going to give me, what words of wisdom he's going to give me to say to you. So anyways, let's read out of Jonah. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah ran away from the Lord and headed for Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for the port. After paying the fare, he went abroad and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord. Then the Lord sent a great wind on the sea, and such a violent storm arose that the ship threatened to break up. All the sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his own God, and they threw the cargo into the sea to lighten the ship. But Jonah had gone below deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. The captain went to him and said, "How can you sleep? Get up and call your God. Maybe he will take notice of us, and we will not perish." Then the sailors said to each other, "Come, let us cast lots to find out who is responsible for this calamity." They cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. So they asked him, "Tell us, who is responsible for making all this trouble for us? What do you do? Where do you come from? What is your country? From what people are you?" He answered, "I am a Hebrew, and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land." This terrified them, and they asked, "What have you done?" They knew he was running away from the Lord, because he had already told them so. The sea was getting rougher and rougher. So they asked him, "What should we do to you to make the sea calm down for us?" "Pick me up and throw me into the sea," he replied, "and it will become calm. I know that it is my fault that this great storm has come upon you." Instead, the men did their best to row back to land, but they could not, for the sea grew even wilder than before. Then they cried to the Lord, "O Lord, please do not let us die for taking this man's life. Do not hold us accountable for killing an innocent man. For you, O Lord, have done as you pleased." Then they took Jonah and threw him overboard, and the raging sea grew calm. At this the men greatly feared the Lord, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him. But the Lord provided a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was inside the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Man, that is something else. 3 days and 3 nights. Think about it. You know, it just shows the power of the Lord Almighty. It shows the fact that, you know, you better listen to God. You better not flee from God. You better run to God. And you better do what God says. You know, the thing is if God tells you to do something, he will provide the way. He will provide the way. And look, he calmed the seas. You know, these people feared God. That's what should happen in this country. People need to fear God. You know, if they started to fear God, they would have respect for God and they'd do his wishes. They'd stop sinning. We wouldn't have all the issues in this country if people started fearing God and respecting God. If they had fear for God, they would respect God. You know, instead, the people do the complete opposite. They run from God to the devil. And then they wonder why their lives are miserable. You know, God can do anything. Anything. He calmed the seas. He can move mountains. You know, He can do anything. He is the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. So why not start trusting God? Why not the United States of America start trusting God? That's why we've been so blessed, for so long, because we feared God and we had respect for God. Now look it. We got a pickle in the White House. We got a bunch of people that have no respect for life, and so they have no respect for God. It's very shameful what this country has become. The evilness that is abound. I mean, it's just complete darkness that's coming in a cloud in this country. People need to stop fearing man and start fearing God. What can man do? Kill you? Well, if you have Christ in your heart, you're going to go to heaven. So why do you fear man? The pain is just temporary. It's just temporary. But if you die and you don't have Christ in your heart, the pain is forever. So what would you rather have? The pain, the temporary pain of man's judgment, or the forever pain of God's judgment? That's why Jesus sent his son to die. That's why God sent his son Jesus to die on the cross. So you would not have to deal with eternal damnation, because he loves us so much. He always tries to help us, and we seem to reject him. Think about it. God made it so a fish swallowed Noah. Could you imagine how nasty that was? But sometimes God has to do things like that to get our attention. He really does. And boy, did he get Jonah's attention. Jonah tried fleeing. He tried all these other routes. He tried this and that and everything else, and it all failed. Why? Because God said, go to Nineveh. Just like God is saying, America, repent. America, stop acting like fools and follow me instead of the devil. It's just that simple. Follow me or follow the devil. But if you follow the devil, your ways will be cursed. You'll have temporary gratification, but your ways will be cursed every way. So anyways, it's been nice talking to you. God bless.